いつも君と待ち続けた季節は何も言わず通り過ぎた。雨はこの街に降り注ぐ少しのリグレットと罪を包み込んで泣かないことを誓ったまま時は過ぎ痛む心に気がつかずに僕は一人になった記憶の中でずっと二人は生きてゆける。君の声が今も胸に響くよ。それは愛がさまよう限り君は少し泣いた。あの時見えなかった。
I think it's safe to rest here now. Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle? Maybe something's going on in the forest.
see anybody around here who could use our help?
We can't chase after every little thing. Well... Hey! Sorry.
Search through this whole castle?
Oh, quit grumbling. This sort of... stuff's old hat for us by now.
Yeah, you've got a point, but...
It's not going to take forever, Law, I promise. Let's just do what we came here to do and get out.
Very well.
Well,
Hey,
Pardon me.
What the hell? Do these guys not realize who we are?
doesn't seem that way. You must think we're just Danans from the town.
whatever's going on, these are Bull Run soldiers. Watch yourself.
Now's our chance! Illuminate the... This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Dance in the wind!
Everlasting
Seal!
Take this! Eternal devastation! You're finished! Eternal devastation!
Get toasty!
Bird strike!
Yeah.
Hey. You don't say.
Well...
Well?
How?
Oh, wow!
So then.
I can't believe how quickly you got all those soldiers to obey you, Dohalim.
Actually, they were abiding Renan hierarchy. Not me personally. Well, either way, solve the problem, and that's what counts.
We've reached our destination.
I've talked to the soldiers and made it clear that they are to remain in line. Things should stay calm for the time being.
I know Renans tend to take authority extremely seriously, but you sure know how to throw your weight around as a former lord.
I only managed to get through to them because Volron's curse is lifting, but not to the extent that they can act independently as of yet. Considering we had other matters to attend to for the past month, we should consider ourselves lucky that nothing occurred during our absence.
But if they do start operating independently again, that's going to cause a whole new set of problems to deal with.
Indeed. Ganeth Heros is unlike Menancia. Without intervention, they'll likely revert to oppressing the Danans as they were doing before.
Meaning there's still a lot of work to be done in this realm. Not that there aren't problems among the Danans, too.
Yes. There was no way to avoid the deep-seated conflicts that had festered here. But I just hate that we had to use your position as a lord to solve the situation, Dohalim.
Had I not intervened, yet more blood would have spilled here, and nobody wishes for that.
So, what's going to happen to the Renans here now?
Why do you ask?
We've stripped the soldiers of their armor and locked them up. They can't hurt you guys anymore. I promise.
So they're alive? They're not going to die?
What?
Those people deceived us. They did terrible, terrible things to us. They made us suffer. Long before you guys came along. For years and years and years. It was constant. Never stopped. Not even for a day. So many people died. Our parents, our children, our friends. They all died. They were murdered. And it was the Renans. The Renans were the ones who did it. They killed us. Why do they get to live after so many of us have died? The bastards should die! Every last one of them!
I know how you feel, Ganya. I used to be a slave, and I hated the Renans just like you. I took up the blazing sword to bring them down. But along the way, I've met many people and seen many things. People refusing the hand life dealt them. People who have lost loved ones, but are still trying to make this world a better place. People driven by hate who stopped before it was too late. And those who couldn't and paid with their lives. And I fought plenty of people who were all too happy to make others suffer. Believe me. But after a while, I came to realize that it's not the Renans who are our true enemies.
Then what the hell are we fighting if it's not them?
We're fighting against anyone who tries to take what doesn't belong to them.
But that's what these Renans are doing. How is that any different?
Because I judge everyone by their own actions. That goes for Danans too. Because at the end of the day, at the root of all evils committed is an individual who committed them.
You're right, Alphen. It seems like people are either blaming an entire race for one individual's sins, or an individual for everyone else's mistakes. But all that does is add more hate in a world that's already full of it. I want to help create a society where people can finally stop suffering and move beyond their pain. But if we try to do that with more violence, then we'll just end up right back where we started in the first place.
All right. Have it your way. I can't argue with the folks that helped us get back our ability to think and speak freely again.
Is that to say you trust us then?
I don't trust the Renans as far as I can throw them. I trust you guys because of who you are and what you've done.
Fair enough. We won't let you down, Ganya.
What's the matter, Kisara? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, nothing. It's fine, really. I'm just a bit worried about what'll happen to all these folks.
Right.
It'll take time before they start thinking for themselves again.
Indeed, that is part of it. However, what I'm even more worried about is what will happen to them after that. What do you think they're going to want once they realize how cruel Volron was to them?
Probably revenge.
What happened to Ganeth Haros is the worst form of oppression we've seen, but treated cruelly or kindly, slaves will rise up.
Lenegis aside, there are still remnants of Renan supremacists scattered throughout Dana.
You mean all that trouble we went through to get rid of the Lords might just lead to more violence? That's the last thing I want to see happen.
Of course not. And if we don't do something to prevent it all from starting up again, there could be even more bloodshed for us to regret. There's still a lot we don't know about the Renan rulers. Whatever the face of truth behind their veil, it's on us to put a stop to them. But there is one thing that's clear. Whatever we do to finally end it, our motives can't be getting back at the Renans, or it'll all be for nothing.
So, what exactly is it that you're saying? That we should just act as if nothing happened?
Law's right. We can't expect everyone to just forget all the pain they've endured up until now. Not so easily, at least.
But we have to at least try to change course. We can't just keep allowing history to repeat itself like this.
Exactly. Look, I won't deny that between the crown contest and 300 years of oppression, there's a lot of bad blood between the Danans and the Renans. But all these problems are just too big for us to try to carry the burden on our own. We'll keep doing our part in the interim, but we need to take this one battle at a time.
Glad that work's taken care of.
I don't think we're done just yet. I want you all to stick around a little longer. There might still be people who need our help.
When you think about it, thinking for yourself can be a heavy responsibility at times.
Yeah, it's not like your mind will only ever think about good, happy things for one.
Maybe so. But I'll still take that burden over living life as a puppet serving others. That's why I want to do everything I can to help these people.
I hear a voice. Somebody's asking for help. Well... Hey! Got it!
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Did we really just spend that much money?
I don't see any enemies around here.
Looks perfect and tastes just as good.
Shion, could we talk a moment?
Hey, do you have time to talk? There's something I need to ask you.
Of course. What's up?
It's about the doll I used to have as a little girl. I gave it some more thought, and I still don't remember actually receiving it from anyone.
You were so little. I don't think it's that surprising you've forgotten, is it?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That doll was so old, I'm starting to think I just always had it with me from the start. I know that it's extremely unlikely, but after last time we talked, it got me thinking. Maybe you brought the doll that child made with you to Lenegis.
I couldn't be.
Are you saying you didn't? Look, logically speaking, I know it's a lot more likely that you didn't bring it with you than you did. But you can't say for sure you didn't, right? Crazier things have happened. I always thought I'd be alone, only to end up meeting you, and Law, and Rinwell, and Kisara, and Dohalim. Sometimes things happen in life that we never thought possible.
You make a good point. I left everyone and everything I knew behind 300 years ago. But now, I'm not so alone anymore.
Exactly. You crossed all those centuries to find all of us, so...
Why can't a little doll have made the same jump too?
Right? Look, it's up to you to decide if there's any meaning behind all of this. But I choose to think there is.
Yeah, I think so too. There's something beautiful about the whole thing that simply can't be denied.
I think it's time we go to sleep. Did you get enough sleep? Dispose of the trash.
I can carve through armor!
Annihilation!
Eternal devastation!
Howling hurricane!
Burn in hell!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Eternal devastation! Crush!
No armor! Stop me!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! My fists are crushing it out there! No backing down! No further!
Denied! Raging Storm!
Azure Storm!
If it hides, just back it out again!
Azure Storm!
Back in there defensive!
Glad you have your uses.
I'll show you how useful I can be! Do it!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
A flawless victory.
Naturally!
Ignite!
I'll finish you here! Now you see what I can do!
Well then, let's keep moving.
No backing
Let
down!
the marksman handle this.
I'm on it!
Don't mind if I do. Thunder Shield!
Eat this!
Eternal devastation!
These ones can run rings around us.
You're mine!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Yikes! Don't make eye contact with it!
I have a bad feeling about this.
In a bind?
Okay, here I go!
I'm just far enough! That frickin' doesn't get a word! I can carve through armor!
Leave the enemy's arc to me!
No complaints here! Watch it! That frickin' does it!
Here, let me help.
I hope this
You're
thing is
mine! Azure Storm!
I never miss.
Crush!
There.
Eternal devastation!
Into the shadows.
It looks like you got this one covered.
Azure Storm!
First aid.
Eat this! Take this!
Talon Hurricane!
Freezing storm.
Rip and tear!
Eternal devastation!
Can't get out of this!
Illuminate the dark! Transform! Holy Glimmer!
Amazing.
Stardust! Take this!
Here's a healing
You're
arm.
on!
It's weakened.
As a flaming eagle! This ends now! You're mine!
It's ready to go.
Sealed!
Not today!
This one's mine.
You're mine! Stardust!
Laser spear. Here's evil. Where are you going? Eagle assault. Coming through.
I can carve through armor!
Confiscated!
Let's tear him up!
Dance in the wind!
You're on! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Here goes!
You're mine!
Come and get it!
Banana!
All
Let's
this
hear
time
it
that you
go!
rolled down.
Stay away from my friends! Burn!
Reload!
I'll bring you back from death to this.
Not in your dreams!
Far enough.
No further! Eternal
Champion swirl!
Crush!
Whoa! Hey! What
Not
is
done
this?
yet.
Don't illuminate the dark!
Radiant
Come
Hub
here!
on.
Holy Glimmer!
Eternal
Holy
devastation!
Target acquired complete!
First strike! I'll tear you apart!
I'm gonna need more of that medicine. Eternal devastation! Try harder! My turn!
Freeze Lancer.
Eternal devastation!
Where are you going?
Prepare to be...
There you go! Don't let them!
Not today!
Going in.
Can't get out of this!
Going in.
This medicine works for
Eternal devastation!
Now's our chance! Wind Astrology!
Carve through armor!
Eternal devastation!
They're all coming after me!
I'm coming, Renwell!
I'm not scared! I'm totally fine!
Eternal devastation!
Radiant Storm! Here goes! Don't mind if I do!
I'm not done! Eat dirt!
Big with darkness!
time.
Divine Street! You're mine! Eternal devastation!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
In a bind?
Eternal devastation! Azure Storm!
Healing circle going in.
And just like that, I'm back in it. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done.
Now, while it's reeling!
Take it
Their
down!
arms were interrupted.
I can carve through armor!
Burn!
Tiger blade.
Nothing gets by me.
It's over!
Leave him out.
Eternal devastation! Stardust!
In a bind?
You're finished!
Let's put you out of your misery.
Not today!
Here goes.
Eternal devastation! Crush! Azure Storm! Eternal devastation! Here I come! It's over! Take it!
I'm almost impressed.
High praise coming from you.
I said almost. Don't get carried away.
Save you!
New leader!
Here, let me.
I'm gonna need more.
Hear my call. Arrow wall. Go ahead. Laser spear. Here's evil.
Ignite! You're mine!
I'm nearly done for.
You'll pay for that! Eternal devastation!
Bring you back from death to this.
Take this!
Eternal devastation!
Here's a healing art.
Looks like you came to my rescue again.
You need to be careful. With the blazing sword, and with my sword.
Shia.
Eternal devastation!
Ready and ready! Now you see what I can do!
Far enough.
I owe you, Keon.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
The enemy's over!
Eternal devastation!
I never miss.
Flaming meteor. Crescent moon. Do it.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Get him!
Yeah. Nice technique.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to
What's the point of all this money if you don't treat yourself now and again?
Life is unpredictable. The more you have saved, the better.
Aw, listen to you, Kisara. I told you you were the team mom.
That was nothing.
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I'm looking forward to breakfast. Come on, guys. We've got lots to do.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster. Yeah! Seriously?
Hey!
Where are you going?
Since when do I need your permission to move around?
I wasn't saying that you do. Though I'm not sure why you're biting my head off about it either.
Oh, that's so typical of you. How can you be so relaxed about all this? At this very moment, the enemy is doing who knows what behind the scenes. And yet we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs in Ganeth Harros.
I know that, but our hands are tied right now. What do you want me to do? And what's gotten into you anyway? Is there something you want to say to me, Shionne?
Look, you're right. Forget I said anything.
If I said something to hurt you, I'm sorry. But I honestly don't know what I said to upset you so much. I really wish you would tell me.
You don't need to apologize. You didn't say anything. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Not really.
Then why?
Please just drop it. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. If that's what you want, I won't push any further.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Just don't be too hard on yourself, okay? You see anybody around here who could use our help?
We can't chase after every little thing.
Huh?
Well... yeah.
No way.
Huh? Got it. Boomy!
heck? Are you stuck on that too?
No, really. I kinda see where they're coming from.
Are you okay with anything as long as it's round and flies? We finally made it. With all this money, I'd kill for a night out on the town.
No gambling. You got that?
Boring old fuddy-duddy.
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I think it's time we go to sleep. Morning. Ready to head out?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
A lovely view.
Hey! Are you insane? What the hell were you thinking? I thought we were gonna die!
One simply needs to be bold and act with conviction in times such as these.
Did you know it was gonna be safe before you jumped? Because I sure didn't.
More or less. I figured there would likely be a basin here akin to most such waterfalls.
Don't just make people jump off cliffs on a hunch!
Are we ever gonna finish climbing this ladder?
We're climbing a considerable height. It's only natural that it will take some time.
That's not the problem here!
We are getting closer to the top, aren't we?
You've just got to keep your spirits up, Rinwell. Positive thinking is everything.
what she said. Eyes on the prize.
That focus goes double for you, Law.
Me? How come I get singled out?
Now, Rinwell, Astral Energy, full throttle! A flawless victory.
First strike!
Naturally.
Azure Storm!
Now,
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
This could be useful.
Dawn!
Raging Cascade.
Fahrenheit! Armor won't save you!
Dance in the wind.
Eternal Devastation!
Yeah, when did I get so popular?
Astral? Do it!
Eternal Devastation!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Take this!
Alright! Do it!
We are freaking invincible! I'll backhand their defense!
Hide behind your uses!
The enemy
I'll
wields
show you how useful I
Let's
can
see
be!
about that! I'm all stopped up! Magna Ray! Now! Rinwell! Astral Energy! Full throttle! A flawless victory!
I'm on your mind!
Naturally!
Eternal Devastation!
All fitting here and now!
Do it! Doubling!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Together, that wasn't even a problem.
You've collected an awful lot of those objects. You sure it's not just junk?
Hush. Be quiet for a moment. The pieces speak to me.
What?
These relics that have scattered about. I can hear them whispering, longing to reunite with their lost friends and become one again.
Really? Do you hear any voices coming from them, Rinwell?
What? No! Don't get me wrong. I'm really interested in these things too, but I'm not crazy.
But don't you sometimes mutter stuff like, "Come to me, Astral Energy," when you cast your arts?
You're right. Oh my gosh. Are Dohalim and I actually alike?
Its charm really shines through now that it's been reassembled. Its streamlined shape, its geometric patterns. This is no mere amateur's work.
He's in his own little world at this point.
You get just like him when it comes to weapons, you know.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Am I just like Dohalim?
Huh? Why are you guys so quiet all of a sudden?
I sense a strange power from this.
Great, now I'm hurt and dirty.
Gotta break through! Here I come!
Take this!
First strike! Azure
In a bind?
Talon Hurricane! It's on! Eat dirt!
Talon Sword! Here goes!
Take
It's
it!
not in your dreams!
We got fire!
I've got it! Let a marksman handle it!
You're finished! All yours!
Armor won't save you!
Eternal devastation!
Mega Ray!
Azure
Permanent
Sword!
pressure!
Take it!
Arrow Squall!
An astral arc?
That's my cue!
Oh! Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Could have been worse.
The spray from this waterfall feels so good.
Seriously. Makes the sweat I worked up getting here all worth it.
Don't get too wet now, you two, or else you'll catch a cold.
Go no further! In the wind!
Eternal devastation!
What's this?
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
The flame inside me is yours!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for you had
I'll show you how!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky. The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen.
Great, now I'm hurt and dirty.
Out of our way!
No further!
I'll finish you here and now!
Azure Storm! Talon Sword! Eternal devastation!
Do it! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Water, hear my call!
Anything in armor is all
It's almost too strong.
It'll split it open!
Be my guest!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Vanquish
First strike!
Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
That looks like the Zoogle we were told about.
Primed and ready! I never miss!
Ready to go! Talon Hurricane!
Ignite!
Glacial Spear!
Eternal
Not
devastation!
far enough!
Crush!
Freeze Laser!
Eternal devastation!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Flying freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
These
Seal,
enemies
can
aren't
you take care of them?
No sooner said than done!
Right here!
One at a time!
Azure Storm!
Do it!
Long, get toasty!
Bird strike!
Right, next one!
I can carve through already on it!
Dance in the wind!
Stardust!
Hurricane!
My fists are crushing it out there!
Is that the Zugor we're looking for?
There it is. That's our target.
No backing down!
Illuminate the
Eternal
sky!
devastation!
Come on, holy glimmer! Holy blazing
Rising
storm!
Wyvern!
Now I'm in the groove!
Azure Stone!
Feel it, beat stuff, but they're vicious! Searing flame, reload!
Got fire!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
Take
Here
this!
goes!
All yours!
Not on my watch! Freeze Lancer!
First strike!
Hit!
Here comes
Go
the
big
big
red!
one!
This one's mine!
Take this!
Illuminate magic! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
You got company!
Ready to go!
Water!
Denied!
Hear my call!
Eat this!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Lightning
Azure
orb!
Storm! Eat this!
Whirlwind smash! All good things come to an end.
Eternal devastation!
This world! Now! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
We got the advantage.
Good.
Just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, cause log on.
Eat dirt! I never miss! Do it!
Eternal devastation!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action.
I need to be stronger.
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Eternal devastation! Azure Storm! Be careful, everyone. This one isn't normal.
Not in your dreams!
Crush!
You require a hand.
Astral energy! Lightning!
In a bind?
Come and face me!
Hands in the wind! Searing flame!
Nothing gets by me!
Do it! Frozen!
Hammer!
Looks like it could be worth something.
We finally made it.
Feathers, beak, eyes. Yep, everything looks good.
It's finished. Hopefully the others like it.
Shion, could we talk a moment?
Sorry if I'm a bit restless during the night. Morning. Ready to head out?
Yeah.
No. You did it!
Really?
Yeah.
What's gotten into him?
He says instead of making a Zoogle sign, we should be making a Hootle sign.
He's feeling threatened by a rival.
No way! All right. Having to inform a mother her son died isn't an easy thing to do.
But if not us, then who? That's why we have to find her.
Sorry.
Yes.
All right.
How can she think of putting her son to rest as work?
Because that's the way people were made to think about every aspect of their lives.
I know she doesn't mean anything bad by it. I know that, but
It looks like she went out of town to take care of her son's body.
That's a little concerning. There's Zoogles roaming around out there. We should follow after her.
We've reached our destination. Yes.
What?
I'm afraid not.
I'm sorry.
Rinwell.
Huh?
Phew. Good.
Right.
That little speech you gave back there was pretty impressive, Alphen.
If you call letting your emotions get the better of you impressive, sure.
It made them stop fighting with each other, right? However you managed it, you knocked some sense into Rinwell and Dohalim, and that mother.
Yeah. I can see my decision to travel with you was well made.
Something's eating at you again, huh?
I don't know if I would say that. I mean... Actually, I guess I do have one or two things on my mind. My people, we lived in hiding, so we never really experienced the full extent of Renan oppression. Not directly, anyway. After Almeidrea killed my mother and father, though, I guess that's when I started hating them so much. The Renans, I mean. But then I think of all those people who were born into slavery. The ones who never even got angry in the first place because it was all they ever knew.
I hear you. Every city we've been to, it's the Resistance that gets labeled the troublemakers for having the guts to do the right thing.
When it comes down to it, sometimes I wonder which of us really has the better way.
You can't let your anger eat away at you, Rinwell. But then again, losing your parents that way... Hell, who could really blame you for it if you did? I guess what I'm trying to say is... sorry. Hell, it's hard putting this stuff into words.
No, I get it. You're saying that grief and anger are different than hatred. I never thought of it like that. But hearing you say it, it makes sense. Thanks, La.
You're welcome?
Always good to be back in familiar territory. I wonder if something happened.
Oh, hey!
Seriously?
Well...
Well... Hmm?
Huh? Huh?
That's just...
I guess...
Yeah. Law.
Yeah! Huh?
Oh?
Oh, wow! All right! I wasn't expecting a thank you for that.
Maybe socializing with people is helping to jog his memory bit by bit. You did good, Law.
Thanks.
I think we've helped these people just about as much as we can. They're going to need more long-term aid than we can provide on our own.
You're right. We need to ask the other realms to send help, and fast. Another reason to hurry and find a way out of Ganath Haros.
Agreed. We'll start looking for a way out tomorrow. For now, we should spend the day resting up while we can. Hey, if we find anyone who needs help here,
I know. We'll make sure to ask what's wrong.
Oh?
What? Yes!
just great.
What?
What?
Yes! Yes!
Nice.
Right.
Very nice. Yes!
Got it.
Just a minute.
Great!
Great! Whew.
Hey.
No way!
Oh? Hey!
Sorry. How? Amazing!
Yes!
Hey. What?
Very nice.
Alphen! She owns stuffing bread with Mabo curry!
Now I can eat this every day.
Jeez, you're hooked on that stuff.
What?
What's that noise?
Alphen, this is bad! Look at the sky!
Huh?
What's happening to Rena and Lenegis?
It looks like Lenegis is transforming? But into what? What's going on?
How the hell are we supposed to fight the Renans if they're packing that kind of arsenal?
It seems they've broken their silence at last. My concern is that object they've dropped into the water. It's as if they're driving a literal wedge into Dana.
Not just into Dana, but her own resistance, too. And what's with that beam of light coming down from above? Got any idea what that could be?
Astral energy.
Are you serious? All of that is astral energy? But that...
It's a lot for sure. Not even all the astral energy harvested by every lord combined compares to that column.
They're trying to squeeze every last bit of energy out of the planet.
But why? I thought they only needed to harvest astral energy as part of the crown contest.
Who cares? If we don't stop it now, the whole of Dana is going to be hollowed into oblivion.
Oblivion.
Do you think that red woman is behind this?
It certainly wouldn't surprise me. Just as the Sovereign, the Maiden, and all 5 Master Cores are gathered in one location, she appears out of nowhere bearing a 6th core. She then forces the 2 of you to help her assemble the Renis Alma. Just what kind of person is this woman?
You mean you don't know her?
Pardon?
She was there at your palace, wasn't she? I figured you knew who she was.
Are you saying I should be familiar with this woman?
Well, sure. I remember seeing her with you back at Adelina Palace several times. Everyone in the guard always wondered who she was.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing her with Balseph, too. You saw her, right, Shion? Shion?
Oh, sorry, I drifted off. As far as I remember, the first time I saw her was when we ran into her in Pelegion.
Seriously? How could you two not notice her before? She sticks out like a sore thumb.
I guess I always figured she kept an eye on the lords for the Renin top brass.
You're sure you don't remember ever seeing her before?
I'm certain of it. My memory has never failed me.
But if it's not that, then...
We'll get to the bottom of this later. Right now, that wedge is a bigger concern.
Well, what are we gonna do then? We're not gonna be able to leave Ganeth Heros until we come up with a plan, right?
Cyslodia lies beyond the northern mountain range.
Yeah, but we haven't found a single route through those mountains while we've been here. And we haven't gotten clues from any of the freed locals either.
Surely there must be a way through. This realm can't have been completely isolated from the rest of the outside world for 300 years. Volron may have simply sealed and hidden it.
Okay, then let's try asking the townspeople again if they know anything. Who knows? We might have missed something the first time around.
Sounds good to me. Better that than trying to build a boat from scratch. Let's start searching.
That must be Rena's true power.
I imagined there would be something, but not to this extent.
What's gonna happen now?
We ask around. Let's do what we can.
Hey, when that wedge dropped down on Dana, did anyone else see any weird lights shoot out with it?
Indeed. As I recall, it was 4 lights, each one a different color and going in a separate direction.
That's what I saw too. What were they?
Hold on. A lot just happened here, so let's take a minute. For now, let's focus on one thing at a time.
I bet the whole of Dan is losing its mind right about now.
And just when we'd finished liberating all the realms. So much for things getting somewhere close to normal.
It's too calculated. As if whoever's behind all this was watching us.
The people of Pelegion seem pretty unfazed given the circumstances.
They've yet to get the full range of their emotions back. Maybe it's for the best. Can you imagine the panic otherwise?
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to leave. That's for sure.
Whatever Lenegis is planning, it's a fair bet this wedge they've sent down is just the beginning.
Even now, they're stealing away Dana's astral energy as we speak. Come on. We don't have much time.
Where are these Foreland Mountains exactly?
Those are the mountains you encounter if you walk deep enough into the Lavtu marshlands.
I don't remember there being any sort of path like that around there.
It's possible we overlooked something before. It wouldn't hurt to look again.
We finally made it.
I feel like somebody's watching us.
Maybe there's someone around here who needs our help.
No way.
All right? You don't say. Stay calm.
Huh?
Good.
Sure.
Perhaps you shouldn't have gotten your hopes up.
I felt moved by people whose love transcended the boundaries of race. I wanted to hope.
I can see why you'd feel that way, I suppose.
Armored soldiers!
Some of Volron's former guards.
Let's take them out quick before things get messy.
All glory unto Volron!
Lay down your arms, and no one has to get hurt.
Silence! Traitors like you shall never walk free!
I knew you were stubborn, but you don't have to be so damn dramatic. Your armor won't save you! Raging Lunar
That's my cue.
Shut him down!
Radiant light! No further! Escape!
Too much!
Azure Storm! Rising Wyvern! Try harder! Now! Take it! Stardust! I'll face you! Eat it! Can you take it?
Do it!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
What's with the hole here? Is that supposed to be their hideout?
It doesn't look like it's freshly dug, whatever it is. Maybe it's the entrance to a path to Cyslodia. Everything all right?
Hmm? Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go. I don't know when it happened, but we sure are hauling a lot of stuff these days.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Glad to hear I'm not the only one.
We should probably clear some stuff out, like our old weapons we're not using anymore. They must be in pretty bad shape by now.
No way. Those are still good as new with a little polishing. If anything, I'd say all our armor is what's weighing us down.
But that armor's also still good once you fix it up. Besides, better to have too much armor than too little. You can trust me on that one.
Well, what about all these dumb old antiques we're lugging around? If we sell those off, that should lighten our load.
Simpletons such as yourself who can't appreciate the true worth of such things is how precious art vanishes from history.
Pretty art's not gonna save you in a fight, man.
Stop it, you guys! This is no time to...
All I really meant to say is, you can tell how much we've been through by everything we're carrying around. Honestly, that's all.
Oh.
My deepest apologies. It appears that I may have rather overreacted.
Yeah, I guess it's only natural we'd have so many souvenirs by now. I might have been out of line too.
I guess all this stuff really is a sign of how far we've come together.
Yeah, every little piece is its own treasure filled with memories.
Sword and shield!
A classic combination!
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Tell me, Alphen, wherever did you learn how to wield a sword?
I was wondering the same thing too, actually. I'm guessing you knew how to fight before you met the Crimson Crows, right?
I used to be a soldier who served a Dahnan master. I never saw the guy's face, but I still fought for him because he was my employer. Looking back, it wasn't all that different from being a slave.
A Dahnan master? That must have been before the Renans brought you to Lenegis 300 years ago.
You must fight using real Dahnan techniques then.
Really? We used to have our own sword arts?
There's a lot of our own history we've lost since the Renans first invaded. It's not all magic and art. I'm sure it includes things like sword styles too. It's incredible and also a little surreal to see those arts still survive after all this time.
Not only that, but I first learned these moves while serving one ruler, only to end up turning my sword on the ruling class altogether. Pretty ironic when you think about it.
I apologize if I dredged up unfortunate memories for you.
Nah, we're good. It's in the past now. All we ever did in those days was stir up trouble.
You're using those skills for a good cause now. It's not all bad.
I suppose this is what people mean when they say that every cloud has its silver lining.
Exactly. He's using those sword skills to make the world better. Could be a lot worse.
True enough. I will stop worrying about mentioning it then. Hello. I see. Oh. What?
Oh?
I see.
Yeah.
But why Volron's whereabouts? Don't they know where their own sovereign is?
Considering we've come across him the world over, he's likely been operating on his own for a while now.
Maybe even his own subordinates were just toys to him.
Looks like we made... it here in one piece.
This place is rather gloomy.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
No wonder we couldn't manage to find them. They've been holed up here all this time, hiding.
The remnants of Volron's forces. You think they were planning an ambush on Pelegion?
Possibly. Then again, knowing how blind their devotion is, maybe they were just waiting.
Waiting? For Volron, you mean?
Even though we already defeated him? But yes, I suppose you're right. For these guys, that would just be a technicality. They act more like worshippers than subjects. They're probably still in denial that he was overthrown in the first place.
Either that, or they were biding their time until the next crown contest. Either way, their allegiance is to their lord.
Who they're convinced and expectant will return. So in the meantime, they wait patiently in preparation for the day that he finally does. That's way more than just loyalty. It's no less than total subjugation.
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
Do my best! Far enough!
Eternal devastation! Ignite!
Dance on the wind!
Eternal devastation!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
You've noticed it, haven't you?
Notice what?
I'm referring to Shion.
I never thought you, of all people, would come to me about her.
Yes, well, what concerns me has more to do with what machinations may be currently unfolding in secret on Lenegis as we make our way along this tunnel.
And you're saying it's related to Shion in some way?
Perhaps. She believed there was a good possibility that the Renis Alma may free her from her thorns. One would think after losing the Renis Alma, she would be more dismayed, and yet she isn't. Why? There's also the matter of the power that she inherited from...
You heard what she said. She didn't know about the Maiden's power.
Mere ignorance does not preclude her deep connection to the events unfolding around us. You recall when her thorns went rampant in Castle Delpharis. I've never seen dark astral energy manifest in such a way.
I thought you said all Renins had dark astral energy inside of them.
Correct. However, what Shion exhibited was far beyond what any ordinary citizen could ever possibly possess. Let me be clear. I do not intend to cast doubt on Shion, or her motives. Nevertheless, I cannot shake the feeling that there's more to all of this than what we currently know. Do you disagree?
No further!
Here I come! Here!
Eternal Storm!
Glacial Spear! Your wings won't save you from me!
Reflect on
It's over!
They smite with blood, pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly!
Flame inside me!
Leave the enemy's arts to me!
No complaints here!
I'll take you all on!
Elusive deity!
Azure Storm! You picked the wrong fight!
And I'm all stopped
Eternal devastation!
Do it! Your blade!
Here I come!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
So, fire and earth astral energy, huh?
A perfect combination.
obvious that people used to go through here in order to get to the other realms.
You think Volron really did seal it off to keep it hidden then?
Seems like it. Those soldiers we encountered might have known about it, chosen to hide out here.
But with the entrance collapsed and exposed, they must have been forced to come out of hiding.
Let the marksman handle this!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Internal devastation!
Hurricane strike! Do it!
Take this! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Well, looky here.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Take this!
You're mine!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Is that statue wielding arts? Now I've seen everything.
Resonate with you.
Flying spree! Why can't they just sit
Tide of
still?
battle has turned in our favor.
Take care of that!
No sooner said than done!
Indeed, but remain ever vigilant.
Within the sky is mine!
Make it ready! In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
An astral arts?
That's my cue.
Shut him down! Now I can let loose! I'm ready! Go! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
I see supplies and other signs people were living here. Even Zeugle cages.
Definitely looks like this is where the remnants of Volron's forces hold themselves up. Yeah.
They were hiding in a place like this all along.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Get behind me!
Rising Wyvern!
Where are you going?
I can shatter any steel!
Take it! Burn in hell! We've got fire!
Tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's keep pressing the attack!
All yours!
But remain ever vigilant. In a bind,
Shattering the...
all yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Denied!
Take it! Eternal devastation!
Glacial Spear. Pierce evil.
I'm not done!
Free Blazer. Hold on to your arc.
Take it.
Here I come.
I'm ready! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
The Oath of the Renans, number 7.
Always replenish your stomach after a battle.
That certainly explains a lot about Balseph.
They're messing with you.
We got some good equipment!
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
Ignite!
I never miss! Very complicated!
No escape! Eternal
Reload!
Do it! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Haha! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Retreat if you know what's good for you.
Rising Watcher!
Burning!
Eternal devastation!
Resonate with the earth.
Stalagmite!
Look sharp. On your knees. Look sharp.
I'm not
Quit pushing yourself and get behind it!
I'll be right as rain in no time. Make it red! Lock! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Shine. Radiant light.
Take it!
Regeneration. The enemy wields art.
You'll see about that!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade.
Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
Hey, new equipment! How much do they have to steal from us to be satisfied?
What's that thing's purpose, anyway? Some kind of siphon that sends the astral energy the Lords harvested to Lenegis?
Not as far as I'm aware. That said, it has become evident since the forming of the Renis Alma, as well as other recent events, that my insight may be thin. I would, as I believe the saying goes, take what I say with a grain of salt.
Dohalim.
At the very least, I believe we can assume that whoever is pulling the strings behind the scenes has had this in the works for quite some time.
Why's that?
The people on Lenegis may have plenty of resources at their disposal, but not even they could prepare something like that in a mere month. Something of that magnitude takes considerable time, as well as a predetermined goal in mind.
Then what was the crown contest for?
At this stage, I think it was but one step in the greater scheme we see unfolding before us. What that scheme is exactly, I haven't a clue. For now, I believe we should keep moving. The path continues. It's quite possible it will take us all the way to Cyslodia.
Agreed. Let's keep moving.
So Shion's thorns are dark astral energy.
Rinwell. Are you worried about Shion?
Of course I am. But I don't know how to talk to her about it.
You and me both.
Come to think of it, what happened to those 4 lights that fell from Lenegis along with the wedge?
All 4 of them scattered in different directions. It's anyone's guess where on Dana they might have landed.
I'm not entirely sure, but it seemed like those lights may have all been different elements of astral energy.
So even though they're using the wedge to siphon off energy from Dana, they're shooting it back down to Dana as well? Why?
I don't know. It all happened so suddenly.
Hopefully it's not a sign of some new threat we'll have to deal with.
But if that red woman has anything to do with the wedge, then what could that light...
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh?
The Red Woman. Shion and Dohalim said they'd never seen her before Pelegion.
Are you saying they're lying to us?
No, it's not that I think they're lying, just... there has to be some reason for it, right?
Well, one thing the 2 of them have in common is that they're both Renins.
Okay, you two. Put a pin in it for now. I know that we're in the dark about a lot, but for now, let's focus on getting through these mountains.
Yeah, of course.
opponent like this should be easy.
A chain between heaven and earth. Eat this! A wailing blade!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Radiant
Eternal
fire!
devastation!
Do it!
All three!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Water, well
Hear
done!
my call!
Denied!
Flying freak!
What did they take this kill?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I got your back.
Let the marksman handle this. I never miss. Don't mind if I do.
Eternal devastation!
Mega Hurricane! Annihilation!
No further! I'll finish you here and now!
Eat dirt!
There!
Take that! It's over!
Now!
Eternal devastation!
Mega Ray! Champion
You're mine! Crush!
Blown flight!
Azure Storm!
Do it!
Wow! Look what I just found. It sure got cold all of a sudden after we passed the peak.
Law,
Yeah, we're getting close.
I won't forgive you! You got company!
Azure Storm! Take this!
Smash you! I'm on a roll now!
Escape!
Flame of fury! Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Water, hear my call! Alright!
Take it!
Sounds like a job for yours truly! Do it! I'll be saving this one! Freeze Lancer!
Must be easy to pick off the bad guys from far off.
It is. I mean, aside from adjusting for movement, wind speed, trajectory.
See? Easy.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough!
I never miss!
You're mine! I'm right!
Do not feel! Arctic waterfall! Ready! Mega
Eternal
Ray!
devastation!
Dream! Annihilation! Now! It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
A flawless victory.
They're surrounding us!
Eternal
Naturally!
devastation! Swallow dance!
Ice tornado!
Eternal devastation! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Step back! This one's all law! I'm surrounded!
Now or never.
Swallow dance!
Eternal
Take
Devastation!
this! I'm on a roll now! I'll smash you!
Crush! It's on! We turn the tables up.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
Back with hurricane!
Divine!
No one gets by now!
You're mine! Core! Ignite!
You are in tip-top shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
As impressive as always.
Now! Here I go! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Hi, Hoodle!
Azure Storm!
Eat this!
Rising Wyvern! Stardust!
Holy Land!
Talon Hurricane!
You're mine!
Take this!
Here I come! No further! I'm not done!
Freezing storm!
You got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Dohalim! This one's got your name on it!
Ash to ash!
Barely a blip on our radar.
Let the marksman handle this! If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Glimmer Dragon! Eternal Devastation!
Roll now! I'll tear you apart!
Anything you don't like me!
Now you see what I can... I'm on a roll now!
Eternal Devastation! Crush! Come one, come all! You're finished! Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! Stardust!
Prepare to be free!
Burn!
Don't get careless.
We made it to Cyslodia.
We need to get that bridge down somehow.
It looks like we can control it from our side. Let's take a closer look.
Are you okay, Law?
Oh, fine. Just thinking. The past is a real downer. That's why I'm focused on what's ahead of me. You?
Yeah. I'm going to stay the path. As long as we're all together, I know we'll be all right.
Same here. Now let's get moving.
Oh, good. We can cross through here.
Who goes there?
My name is Alphen. We're not your enemies.
Did you say Alphen? Slap me silly, it really is you!
Forgetting someone?
Rinwell! Oh, glad to see you're doing okay.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're patrolling the realm. Never thought I'd bump into you all on my rounds, though. Heck, enough of me, though. What's going on up in the sky? Feels like the world's gonna end.
That's what we're trying to figure out ourselves. And as it happens, I've got a big favor to ask.
I had an inkling that's why you'd come back, as soon as I saw you in the distance. So you beat all the lords, huh? Damn, you really must be a hero.
I just did what I had to. So can you send anybody to help Ganeth Harros?
I think we can help out. I'll hit up the other resistance groups and rustle up some support. I doubt they'll have a problem sending people once I mention it's you who's asking.
Thanks. If you guys can help out, that'll give us a chance to do something about that wedge out in the ocean.
Yeah, I think that's something only you guys can handle. Speaking of which, that thing's out in the middle of the ocean. How do you even plan on reaching it?
By boat. We're about to go look for one.
No rest for the weary, I see. Hey, what happened to that mask you used to wear?
It's a long story. Let's just say I lost it.
I sure never expected to run into Bregan.
Cyslodia's probably in good hands with him.
Yeah. Now we can focus on finding a ship.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
A boat, huh? Where are we gonna find one of those? It's not the kind of thing people just leave lying around.
Especially not Renans. For an Imperial power, they never have shown much interest in maritime expansion. Still, I dare say there should be the odd small vessel here and there.
All well and good, but that structure's slap bang in the middle of the ocean. A fishing boat won't cut it.
Let's just try to find one that won't sink us halfway out, yeah? Not that it needs to be a huge galley like Almeidria's or anything.
Just as well, since we've passed, let's see, literally 0 huge galleys.
All I know is we have to reach that thing in the ocean. Anything that might work, I say we try it. Thanks to Bregan, it seems like Ganeth Harros should be in good hands, at least.
I wonder who they'll send to look after things. It'll be someone from one of the other resistance organizations, no doubt.
They could do a whole lot worse than someone like Doc. A knowledge of medicine would go a long way there.
Wait, do you mean the old guy back in Calaglia? Ganeth Harros would be one hell of a trek from there. He'd have to get here first.
My brother's old second-in-command, Lagiel, would be a perfect fit, too. Pity she'll probably still have her hands tied up with work in Menancia.
Mahag Saar will be the same story. They won't have the manpower as it is, let alone enough to start exporting it.
Man, everyone's still struggling to get back on their feet, huh?
Knowing Bregan, he'll probably take things into his own hands. He seems like the kind of guy who enjoys a challenge.
Thinking back on it now, though, it does kind of make you realize just how many people we've gotten to know in each of the places we visited.
That's true. And each and every connection we forged is priceless. Anyway, we can trust Bregan to take care of things from here. Come on, let's focus on the task at hand.
Okay!
Oh!
Why, you!
Really now?
Huh?
Just what's going on here? Should we stop them?
The two of them seem to share a long-running history. It would not be our place to interject.
They're just having fun, right?
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
What? What? All right.
Huh? What?
All right. That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Huh? I think someone's
No way.
Well,
That can't be.
Sure.
Agreed. I must say, I wasn't expecting you to be the one to spoil their reunion.
well, it was the same with Alphen and Shion. Too much affection can be hard to bear. In fact, you look sort of pleased, Dohalim.
I have the privilege of witnessing their new start together. Few things can mar such joy.
What if it were you?
What indeed?
Whoa!
Huh? Well...
Huh?
Yeah.
I guess...
Huh?
Got it.
Thanks. Why?
Whoa!
Watch it. Hey. Oh?
Huh? No way.
Hey.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
I think Hootle senses something. Look! It's all the owls we found. I guess this was their way of thanking us for finding them.
It looks like they're grouping up by color. Is that a thing?
Actually, the color of Dan and Owl's feathers is based on their maturity and their astral energy element. So maybe they stick to certain groups even if they all belong to the same kingdom.
Then I guess that means we can tell just how many owls we found in each domain.
They seem to be saying something.
Maybe they're thanking us for finding their buddies. Then again, maybe they're telling us that we have more owls to find.
I think the Queen is protesting that they shouldn't put undue pressure on us.
Maybe he's arguing back that we're the only ones they can actually turn to?
Right. Which is why the Queen is worried about sowing any ill will with us.
We'll do our best, so don't worry, I think.
Can you understand them?
Of course not. I'm just inferring. For some reason, when I hear them talk, that's just what I imagine them saying.
Oh. Well, I think you're pretty close to the mark at least.
Well, don't worry about it. We're not breaking our backs over this. I think that was a thank you.
Seems like it. From both of them.
Hootle seems happy with this. Isn't that nice, Rinwell?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Looks like we got another reward.
I didn't realize that so many still remained. Danon Owls truly are majestic indeed.
I thought the Danon Owls had all but died out myself. That's what I get for making assumptions.
Just so we're clear, this place is supposed to be a secret.
Yes, I'm aware. Places like these should be kept out of the public eye.
It's a pity, though. With proper training, they could be made into a magnificent chorus.
What are they hooting about now?
Alphen and Xion can interpret for us, right?
Huh? Oh, no, I mean, it was just a lucky guess last time.
Yeah? Maybe you'll be lucky twice. Go on, give it a shot.
Really? Well, if you say so. Let's see. Listen to them. Are they really up to the task?
What do you mean? You're the one who put them in charge.
It's my responsibility to protect our friends.
Stop trying to take everything upon yourself.
This is what the owls are saying?
Of course.
I must say, though, we've found quite a number of owls. It's a testament to how much you care for Hootle, Rinwell.
I wonder which branch Hootle will perch on.
Rinwell?
Oh, nothing. Don't mind me. Well, come on. The perches are only half filled. We've got to find the rest of the owls.
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.